Here we are again, Lesley from TaG Cycling. And one of the things that I've referred to a few times is some of the skills and things that we can work on while we're in the state of doing maybe a bit more indoor training than we're used to. I incorporate it in all the classes and all the workouts anyway. But one of the things that's really important to remember when you get into this mode of, for the most part, we're not completely captive at home. Some of you are, I know, I've heard from you, being under lockdown for a while now and can't even get outside. But even if you can get outside, but you're doing some of this most days, or indoor activities most days, I just wanted to talk a little bit about a really important concept, and that is having a purpose every day when you get on your bike. And maybe you're not getting on your bike every day, but having a purpose. And yes, a rest day even counts as being a purpose. So getting in the habit of saying, okay, today I'm doing a hard workout. This is what I'm doing. TaG's got a couple of good, someone said my least and my most favorite thing of the day. It's kind of the way I feel too. I'm always happier when it's over. But remember, you don't always want to be jumping on the bike every day and doing a super hard workout. It'll compromise the quality you get out of it. So you still want to sit on the bike for a while. Maybe you're back into Netflix or whatever it is, but you can still make some use of your time. And one of the things that most of us need is a little bit of work on our pedal stroke and leg speed and improving both. Behind me tonight, I have some cyclocross on, and any of you that either ride cyclocross or try cyclocross, watch a little bit. You know that these guys, because of the type of terrain they're riding on, they have definitely a high level set of biking skills. They're used to a lot of different sorts of situations that they're different both from road riding and from mountain biking. So today, just one of the things I want to point out using the cyclocross is pedal stroke. And you'll see these riders riding up steep, grassy, schmooey, slimy banks, and they're able to get their bikes up to a certain degree, not all the time, but part of it is they have this really, really positive, even pedal stroke, and they're able to get all the power out of the pedals, out of the bike, regardless of some of the challenging terrain. So a couple of things I want to just suggest to you that you can work in on some of those days that you don't have a really hard workout plan, but you may be on the bike. You can also, of course, put these into your warm-ups on a regular basis, which is what we do. But one of those things is going to be leg speed, and is going to be feeling comfortable with bringing up your rate, your RPM, your turnover, your revolutions per minute. And most of us come into the sport of cycling with a lower leg speed naturally. It's never been suggested to us that we might pedal faster. But by learning a little bit more, and I don't mean trying to follow what some of the pros have done over the last decade, bringing in track speed revolutions per minute, but just a few RPM allows you to turn the pedals over, a little easier gear. You're still really efficient, not building any more lactic acid doing it because you're trained for it. So one of the ways to work on this in your time, first of all, you need fans on because it gets very hot. Anything we're doing quality, we want to be as comfortable as you can, right? So just the concept of a cadence ramp, or a spin up, some people call it, but I'm saying ramp, I'm saying up and down, is easy gear, because we don't want to be challenged by smashing massive watts at the same time we're trying to develop leg speed. So we're going to put it in an easy gear, and let's say we're going to start at what I'm hoping is relatively comfortable for everyone, no matter what discipline you ride most of the time. and that would be a 90 RPM, okay? So bringing it down to 90 RPM and making sure the effort level is probably less than 5 out of 10. Wattage, same thing. And throughout this, as we're getting a little bit higher, might back off the gear so that you can achieve the leg speed at the top end. So I'm now at a 90 RPM. I'm in an easy wattage. It could be a little bit easier. And we're gonna start here. I'm gonna cue you up, up, and you are going to bring it up 5 RPM at a time throughout this ramp. We're gonna hit a pretty high overreaching point, maybe your max. Do the best you can without bouncing around on the saddle, and then we'll come back down. Coming back down feels better, but also sometimes your tendency is to want to just drop it all. So a pyramid, we're going up and down. Okay, we're going to lift the cadence from here, and this is going to end up being several minutes here, actually about 7. We're going to bring it up, 95 RPM, and if you don't have a cadence meter, just follow the rhythm of my legs, the leg speed. I'll try and keep it bang on. Okay, 95 cadence. So I actually started a little bit high, so you didn't see much of a lift there. And I'm trying to keep the effort light. Upper body relaxed, core engaged. Remember, this isn't a big cardiovascular workload. This is rolling up the cadence. We're gonna bring it up to 100. Okay, nice and smooth, winding it up, not attacking. And we're bringing it up. These will be about 30 seconds each. So we're bringing it up to 100. 100 is still in a normal cadence range for most people's efficiency. As we start to get over 100, some of you will find it challenging very soon after 100. Some of you will go all the way to 110, be just fine, and so on. So we're gonna stay here, best part of 15 seconds, and then we're gonna bring it up again. This time to 105. We call 90 to 105 on a flat road for sure. Fairly efficient cadence. Then we'll get to some overreaching. Okay, bringing it up to 105. Up, up. Just focusing on the speed. When you get there, settle into it. Try and learn these rhythms by looking away if you're using a cadence meter. Ideally, over 30 seconds to a minute, you should be able to look back and see exactly the number, or in around the number, I should say, in the range we're trying to ride in. 105. And we're going to do our next lift into what's considered overreaching for most of us. I know it's not that comfortable for me. I don't have a track background. Some of my coaches do. But here we go. Let's bring it up. 110. Up, up. We'll get there. And then we'll stay there for at least 30 seconds. Quick feet. Good. Right about there. You're going to hold on to it. 30 seconds. And then one more lift. Okay, keep it going. Keep it going. 15 seconds. Shoulders relaxed. Quiet upper body helps you with this. You're gonna start looking at that 115 coming up soon. And here we go, 115. Up, up. Holding on to it right there. You wishing you were doing this with me, Tracy, or you're just going, I'm cold and I want to go home. 115. Right here, hang on. A little bit longer. All right, we'll start going back down. 110. We're going to catch it on the way down. 110. Dropping the leg speed. 5 RPM. It's basically only one revolution about every 15 seconds. 110. Look down at the number. If you're seeing numbers, look away. Try and hold it. Another 10. All right. 3, 2, 1. Back down to 105. Bringing it down. $105. Back to the top end of a cadence. You might be on flat road. Hold it right here. Awesome. A little bit longer. 15 seconds. Keep it pegged. Feels more comfortable on the way down, right? All right, last 5, 3, 2, 100 cadence. 100 cadence. Hold it right there. Smooth. Okay? Keeping it smooth. Good. Pulling through on the bottom of the pedal stroke still. Light action around the pedals. Nice and even. A little bit longer here. Down to where we're all comfortable in the next drop. And we're gonna go back down. 95 in 2, 1, 95 cadence. Good. I tend in my easy gears to ride over 100, so when I bring it down here, if I get a little excited, start ramping it up again. There we are now, 95. Lock it in there. Breathe, recover. Last one, we're gonna drop down in 5 seconds. 2, 1, and back down. 90 cadence. Good. Letting your ankles help you with the movement. Try and think about it being an even left to right ratio. Hold on to that 90 cadence. Last little bit. Another 20 seconds. Great job. 10 seconds. Just finish it up. My gear's cranked up a little bit here over the pyramid. So I'm gonna back off the gear as soon as I'm done. 2, 1, and there you go. Now drop into what feels comfortable. Your cadence range, your optimal cadence range. And that's what we call a cadence ramp. It's a little bit of speed endurance because you're getting into those higher pedaling rates and then you're holding it for a little bit. And you can develop that. Do 3 pyramids during your casual workout, sitting on the bike. That'll help a lot. Maybe 5 minutes between each of them that you do. And you'll find you eke out comfortably, just a couple of RPMs. You'll find that it's really, really effective in what we're talking about with that power creation, generation from a combination of leg speed and of force. So another little thing we work into a lot of our warm-ups, and particularly I find that this is important when we're going into strength efforts. Now one of the workouts that we have up there, workout 3, is strength-based. And when we're doing low cadence, it gives us a real opportunity to feel our way all the way around the circle. So what we're gonna do is just think about single leg pedaling. We're gonna do it as a little bit of a drill. And we had one of our star Canadian trackies in here teaching a class one time, and he had the class do 18 minutes of single leg. They weren't that impressed. I can tell you. There are a lot of people falling apart. But the amazing thing was his pedal stroke, and I stood behind him, watched him just like have it right on a cadence, like steady as could be for his whole time. So that was pretty incredible. Okay, a little bit of gear. Now don't over gear here. You're going to feel like you need more gear to get that circle, but you're going to get compromised by it very quickly unless you're already very masterful at this. So again, the basic principles: relax. Everything that puts you like this makes you bounce around, awkward in your pedal stroke, also makes your back and your neck hurt. But we're going to start out at just about that 90 cadence where we were comfortable before. Hand position, whatever you like. I ride on the tops a lot. I like to just have, I'm guiding my handlebars, but just kind of comfortably there. A little bit of gear, okay? I just want enough to be able to feel all the way around the pedal stroke. Excuse me. And then what we're going to do is unclip. I'm going to unclip my right foot first. And we're going to try and go for 30 seconds the first time, 45, and then a minute. We'll change back and forth. Core engaged, really important. Unclipping in the next 5 seconds. Don't get too ahead of me. And then let's see how long it takes before the hip flexors start to burn. So unclipping. Just hang your leg down. If you're putting your leg anywhere on the bike to help you, then it changes the biomechanics of this whole thing, right? So this is a good opportunity to think about the down power stroke, and then more importantly, pulling along the bottom and then up and around the back of the pedal stroke. Let your ankles help you. Keep it nice and smooth. And 3, 2, 1, and back to clipping in both pedals. Okay, and we're going to switch to the other side. We're going to go pretty much right away. I felt I had a little bit too much gear there. And with the other leg, 30 seconds. Okay, nice and relaxed. Looking up. If you look down at your leg, you'll probably find you start to get punchy. Okay, so look up. Feel it. That's 15 seconds. I'm pulling along the bottom into the back. Most importantly is the up, up, up. As you start to feel those hip flexors scream a little bit, go with that. Up, up, up. And that's our 30 seconds. Go back to 2 pedals. Click back in. Give yourself just a little breather. Go symmetrical. And the same thing on the other side. This time 45 seconds. Here we go. Left leg first. Nice and comfortable. Focusing not on looking down. But here's another thing with this. If you feel like you're clunky at all in your circle, and if you're doing this on rollers, good for you. That's a brilliant way to develop this skill. But we're going to go just over 20 seconds. You can always close your eyes for a little bit. Go with the feeling, nice and smooth. Pulling up and around the back, up and around the back. We're going to get to 10 seconds to go here. Good. 10. Let the ankle move, nice and smooth. 3, 2, and 1. Onto the other side. Couple quick pedal strokes again. Boom, boom. Make sure your gear is easy enough and not too easy. This is your favorite skill drill, right, Trace? So for real though, if you do ride rollers, or you have some, and you want to add extra entertainment to your day, then this is something to work on the rollers as well. And if you hear that kind of sound, that means you're just punching down on the pedals and you're about ready to fly off the front of them. I've ridden into many TVs on my rollers over the years. Okay, almost at 10 to go. Hold on to it. This is your 45-second. Hip flexors are screaming. Up, 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 up. 2, 1, and let's go back to being symmetrical. 1 more of those. How are you feeling about a minute? Okay, this is one in class. We have lots of people find it's a little challenging after the 45 seconds. Check that gear again. We're gonna go in 3, 2, and 1. This one's a minute, okay? So much fun. Just think how that pedal stroke is improving. Almost at 15 seconds. They have these evil gadgets that are called power cranks. I think they've disappeared into someone's rusty cellar by now. But they came out and they have independent, it's not like it's attached to a bottom bracket that allows you to keep your legs going at both ends of the cranks the way they do. Starts to drop as your dominant leg takes over. You start to just drop into the bottom of the pedal stroke, and before you know it, both your feet are doing the same thing at the same time, going around the cranks. It's pretty hysterical. Okay, another 10. Good. Hold on to it. Last little bit. 3, 2, and 1. And we're gonna go the other side. So the power cranks, as your dominant leg starts, you start like this, going like this, and before you know it, you're pedaling a little bit like that. So it's worth learning to keep nice even pressure on the pedals, okay? Other side, last one. And here we go, a minute. Same thing, don't rely on momentum, although a little bit of momentum is nice, but don't rely on momentum. Okay, ankle moving, pulling on the bottom, up, up, and that's 15 seconds. Relax. If you want to think about being smooth, close your eyes again. So these are all fun things you can do while you're watching Netflix, confined indoors. Maybe the kids have Lego all over the house, trying not to step on it. I read that on somebody's little workout video today. Pretty funny. Another 15 seconds. Nice and smooth. Hold on to it. Pulling up, up, up. We got 10 seconds to go. A little bit more. And 5, 3, 2, and 1. There we go. So back to some symmetrical pedaling. There's another little drill you can work on. It will pay off. Like I say, on the indoor trainer, you've got a pretty good setup to work on doing it. If you're on rollers, which are an entertaining device, might be a little harder, but also as you get better, add the challenge. Okay, one last thing that I just wanted to introduce the concept of working on. We all know it's a little bit awkward and doesn't feel quite right standing on an indoor bike, but it's another thing that you can work on your transitions. One of the things that newer riders take a little bit of a while to get the concept of is taking your bike with you. Okay, so you can practice that. Nice transitions, and what I mean by taking your bike with you is when you stand up, you're taking your bike underneath you, a little pressure on the pedals. We've all seen that person, and everyone does it at some point. They go to stand up and they throw their bike back into their friends on the road or the mountain bike. Same thing, right? As we have to learn to rub tires, but that's another clinic. Okay? We're gonna start in a little bit of a decent gear, but let's not rely on it. One of the things that I say I use standing for a lot, quite apart from stretching your change of muscle groups, stretching your back, all those kinds of things, is also to get on top of a gear. I don't really feel like I have to let the gear go, but completely, as I know if I stand on it, get on top of the cadence again, it'll start to feel better again. I might be on a climb, and near the top of a climb, want to just stand on top and get it under control, if that means anything to you. But some people feel that they always have to put it in a harder gear to stand. I'd like you to think about, say you're bogging down on a climb, and then you want to stand up. You go to crank it into a much bigger gear, then you're not really going to help the situation because you were already bogging down. So one of the things to learn to do is just to maintain your form and technique as you stand. Very important. And one thing that people get in the habit of on indoor bikes is leaning on the handlebars. So when we're standing, there's some activation in the hips, all right? Keeping the circles going. I don't have a lot of gear. Don't have a lot of gear at all. My shoulders, I'm trying to keep them relaxed. Something that takes a little bit of a while to get a hang of. And as I say, the indoor bike is not the easiest, okay? But I don't need to lock my elbows. Look what that does to my form. Give yourself a little bit of a soft elbow. I ride on the hoods a lot anyway. All right, and then I'm gonna take my bike with me as I sit down, like that. And back to my cadence shortly, okay? So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna keep dropping the gear. So right now, I want you to find a gear that you're comfortable in to stand at first. Bring a little bit more in if you want. And we're gonna do some transitions, up and down, okay? Going in next couple of seconds, got your gear. Think about that nice circular pedal stroke, not leaning on the handlebars, centered over the saddle, right? Up, up. Nice bit of activation. Level foot. Strong through the feet. Okay, another 5 seconds. And take the bike with you. Settle back in. A little bit of gear off, okay? A little bit of gear off. A little bit easier. And we're gonna keep our form. In 2, 1, up, up. Same thing. I'm just kind of hovering over my saddle, looking where I wanna go, looking down, not locked in the elbows. A little bit of activation on the pedals. All right, another 10, another 5, 3, 2, take the bike with you. Okay, that felt okay. Let's take it down another gear. Bring it down a little easier. We're not trying to use the bike like a Stairmaster. There are times on a very, very steep pitch that you actually will effectively be using all your body weight just to stomp down and get the pedals around. But let's try not to be heavy on the pedals in this. And again, up, up. Some of you might be really, really comfortable standing. Some of you might not be. It's another tool in your tool bag. You want to learn to be able to use it, even if you have a preference. Driving with hamstrings, seated climbing, and then those people that always want to pop up and stand, never want to sit and turn it over. You maybe want to practice the other a little bit. All right, back down, bike with you. Let's do another gear. And take one more off, a little bit easier. Last one. And up, up. Same thing, nice and in control. Looking where you're going. Good job. And we're thinking about our transitions too, right? We're thinking about coming up nicely, back down, not plunking down like we're just dropping on the sofa with a beer at the end of the day. Okay, 2, 1, and back underneath you. Good, so you can work on that a little bit. Work on the standing to seated. And then the next thing we're gonna do is just a little bit, a bigger gear standing, which is more just to get the experience and the feeling in the legs of standing for a fairly long time. So not big, big gear. That's another whole type of workout, but just enough, probably close to where you were in the beginning. And now we're just gonna do a few longer sets to get more comfortable with it, okay? First one's 30, 45, a minute. Going in just over 5 seconds. In 2, 1, up, up, 30 seconds. Good, pretty easy for most of you, I'm sure. Nice and comfortable, halfway through. Ten seconds. We're gonna sit back down just for 15, come right back up. One of the ways to get better at this, if you feel like you're falling apart, is to sit back down for a few pedal strokes, come back up. So we're essentially doing that. We're just trying to get you used to a longer amount of time with what feels like doing squats. Okay, 45, up, up. Okay, so like I said in this, you may be a stander, you may prefer being seated. Whole point in almost everything that I'm trying to do in physiological training and then some of this technique stuff is to just give you more tools in your tool bag. More things you can do, more things you can recruit. 10 more seconds. Looking at the clock, doing the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Back down. Last one. We had an introductory clinic when we first started 10 years ago. Asked everyone to stand. We were doing an assessment. Oh my goodness, just the fear was something a lot of people hadn't really tried to do. And it was because they're afraid of the bike moving underneath them, I suppose. But again, core. And this one's going to be a minute. Up, up. Okay, so playing around with this. Good. I like to kind of dropping my heel a little bit, or think of it at least as level, letting the ankles move. Gonna be almost at halfway. Do this in little increments. You'll start to get more comfortable with it. You can always take the seat off your bike. Try and train for it that way. 30 seconds to go. It was a mountain bike world championship, I remember, in Australia. And one of the Aussies, home crowd, right? No way he was gonna quit. His saddle came off with like an hour to go. Super technical course. Man, did he ever get a big, crazy cheer when he came over the line. And he did, standing for an hour. 2, 1, take it back down. All right, ready for one more, just cause? One more. Up, up. So all things you want to just play around with outside, all things you probably are comfortable doing outside, but you can work on improving them while you're spending a little bit more time in captivation. 30 more seconds. Last one. Bringing it down. 20 seconds. Like I said, sit down, come back up. If you're just learning to be comfortable with this. When I'm giving the workouts, some workouts have specific standing stuff in them. Lots don't. But one thing I encourage, if you need to, especially on the indoor bike, move around. You know, it's a lot of sitting in one position. It's not got all the kind of movement that you have when you're outside. So just think about that. Don't always wait to get a cue. Oh dear, I'm almost at a minute and a half. Okay, we'll go with it. Last little bit. Last little bit. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Take it with you. Good. Okay, so just a few things you can work on in your days when you're not doing a hard workout. Right now, I'm thinking a perfect day is if you can get out for some kind of a nice little ride or hike, at least every couple of days. If you can't get outside at all, then just try and do some other things around your cycling time. Few hard workouts, and then some other time where you're not stressing yourself too much, and be okay with that, because that's actually your plan. Okay? So see you again. Next up is a secret. All right,